I return to the bathroom and lean in front of the mirror. My eyes fixate on the sink, then occasionally flicking to and from the knife. It feels like my arm's just waiting for my brain to send a signal to send it on its way. Even now I'm trying to resist that urge. Even though in my heart I know that a slip could merely be a moment or so away. It's just a question of when that moment would exactly be. I twirl the hilt around in my clenched palm. I breathe in and out as I try to contemplate every possible scenario. But it's like a storm in my head with every thought reaching out and gasping for air. Inhaling deeply, I press the blade horizontally against my skin. My hand trembles and my breathing grows shakier. Do it. Don't keep stalling, Jasmine. I press it against my arm harder, definitely leaving a mark of some sort. Still neither hand nor knife budge. Doubt re-enters my already swarming mind, causing me to second guess myself. You what? Afraid to fulfill that out you wanted? My arm falls to my side, my hand still tightly holding the hilt. You're right, I am afraid. Afraid of losing everybody I've got here. Ah, yes. The same people you're pushing away by any chance? I'm silent for a moment. I know the voice is right. I just want to see Monty again. Is that so much to ask? Is that too much to ask? Again with this Monica shit? How much more are you gonna keep going on about her? It's always Monica this, Monica that. I love her, okay? But nothing, Jasmine. Just come back down to earth and stop yelling at yourself in the mirror for once in your fucking miserable life. She's gone. You need to move on. You were there when she got buried, Jasmine. Stop being in fucking denial. I slam my fists against the mirror in rage over the voice in my head. That was the clearest it's ever been. Something that hits me. All these thoughts I've been having. Have I been vocalizing them all this time? I shudder at the thought. If I'm only noticing this now, just how long have I been like this? For as long as you've been hearing voices, Jasmine. I look blankly at myself in the mirror. I'm exactly the voice previously described. I'm exactly the voice that... As the voice, probably. Well, rather how I describe myself. A husk. I then rest my hands on the cabinet under the mirror, relaxing my hands and letting go of the stained kitchen knife. And then, after what feels like forever, my eyes drift down to the drawers. I open the one I had earlier and pull out a small box. I lay it near the sink and frantically open it. The contents are a collection of razor blades and small plastic holders. After picking one out, I fumble with the plastic. Eventually, I'm able to free the steel from its feeble confinement. In my hands, I now have a small and surprisingly cold blade. My hands are trembling and sweaty, but I manage to hold on. I raise my left hand and stare down towards it, focusing on both my hand and my forearm. My eyes trace my veins along my skin, through my skin. It doesn't take much for me to put steel to skin, placing its edges under my hand. The touch sends a small bit of bile up my throat. I close my eyes in hopes to quell any and all apprehension I may have. I breathe through my teeth as I press the furthest corner of the small blade deeper into my skin. I start mumbling incoherently for a moment until I start to whisper in full sentences. Come on, Jasmine. Just one swift, effortless slice. That's all it takes. Then you'll get to be with her again, just like you wanted. I bite the inside of my lip as I press the blade even deeper. I know I shouldn't be doing this. Christ only knows what Monica's thinking right now. I know I want to be with her again. And if this is the quickest way to achieve that, then to hell with waiting. My breathing and my heartbeat start to relax as I focus. Any hesitation is now expelled from my body. My slower heart acts like a metronome as I ready myself. Just one slice. I gulp, still holding my eyes shut. Just one slice. My hand shoots downwards down my arm. My flesh shows slight resistance, but it ultimately proves futile. However, it doesn't stop there. It gets to a point where my hand feels like it's grown a mind of its own, and in the same vein, flesh becomes more acquainted with metal. I exhale, dropping the blade to the floor as I do so. However, I keep my eyes shut. Everything falls silent aside from my soft breathing. The breathing suddenly stops as I feel something warm begin to trickle down my arm. I open my eyes and look down at my left arm. My eyes are met with a steady stream of crimson running down and dripping slowly onto the floor. The more I stare at the sea of cuts and slashes, the more my arm drops and my chest soon grows tighter. It's okay. You've done this before, Jasmine. You live, and that cut will heal, like it always does. I tell myself that, but there's never been this much blood before. With curiosity taking over, I run a finger up the fresh wound. As I do so, I breathe shallow breaths through my slightly parted lips. My finger then stops just before my hand. Still curious, I prod where my vein would be. Doing so causes a bit more blood to spurt out, causing me to jump back a bit. I slowly start to hyperventilate. My quiet, hushed whispers, coupled with the sudden reality of the situation, bring me back down to earth. What have I done? My eyes start around the bathroom. The bandages are downstairs. Despite the sudden flare of worries circling around my brain, my body still feels drained. Normally in situations like this, you usually expect some form of adrenaline to kick in or something like that. But no, nothing of the sorts happens. I'm just left dawdling towards the stairs. I make it to the top of the staircase and attempt to walk down, but I can't bring myself to walk. A hot flush overcomes me, almost bringing me to my knees. I yelp in pain and look towards my arm. I'm losing more blood. At this point, some of it's even dripping into the laminate floor. I can't bring myself back to my feet, and rather than heading downstairs, I head to my bedroom. I need to call someone. Weakly walking towards my desk, I pick up my phone. I hurriedly turn the screen on and go to my contacts. In a haze, I tap the most recent one. I put it up to my ear. It buzzes and buzzes, seemingly without an end. Come on. Please pick up. Jasmine? Sayori's tired voice fills my ears. What's going on? Sayori, I gulp. My voice is shaky. I fucked up. My eyes drift towards my wound. I remain silent whilst the tone of Sayori's voice plummets into concern. She's been concerned ever since Monika's death, but this is probably the most concerned she's been. At this point, it's bordering on panic. I'm coming over! Her voice noticeably cracks. Call an ambulance. I'm losing a lot of... Another hot flush overcomes me, and my phone slips from my faltering grasp. My body starts to shiver as I collapse onto my bed. I end up having to use the end panel of my bed to give me some semblance of support. My breathing becomes shallow and quicker for what feels like the millionth time in the last couple of hours. I suddenly hear the door open up from downstairs. Jasmine! I try to get up from my bed, but my arms are feeling weak. As a matter of fact, my body is starting to feel numb. As soon as I hear Sayori rushing up, I try getting to my feet once more. Alas, it's to no avail. Jasmine's going, oh my god, Jasmine! What did you do? Her panic-baned, borderline horrific expression burns itself into my mind as I freeze in panic. My mouth drops slightly open, but nothing but my shallow breaths, and a few hushed words come out. Sayori, I fall silent as I watch Sayori's eyes trace the crimson trail that had formed on my carpet, carried on to my bed sheets, and leads up to my partially drenched left arm. As her frozen eyes slowly return towards me, I look away and my eyes move towards the ground. A lump forms in my throat. I already screwed up now. I really screwed up, didn't I? Voice cracks as I look back into Sayori's baggy, sky-blue eyes. Her eyes appear glassy, the initial look of disgust having started to shift into sorrow. Can only imagine what she's thinking. Someone she's known since she was a kid, barely holding on because of his seeming inability to move on. Surely one hell of a scene to walk into. I shouldn't have asked you to come over. I'm sorry, I wasn't thinking clearly. Tears start to pour and my vision becomes more and more blurred. Even now I still manage to hurt the ones I love. Guess I'm just doomed to keep doing that. As quickly as I look away, Sayori comes closer. She places a hand on my cheek, gently brushing away my tears with her thumb. I'm glad you did. I should have known it'd get this bad. The look in her eyes is one I'm more than familiar with. Please don't blame yourself for this. This is all on me. I gently grab hold of her hand and move it from my face. Sayori, don't. Her eyes look back onto mine, and I fall silent once more. I can't tell whether it was because she might have known what I was going to say, or simply because I said her name, but her look was more than enough to hush me. My lip quivers. Where's your bandages? My voice comes out as a hushed whisper. They're in the kitchen. Sayori moves to my side. She proceeds to wrap one of her arms around my neck before hoisting one of mine around hers. Where are we going? We're going to get you wrapped up before the ambulance gets here! I'm not leaving you up here on your own! Her fiery eyes and furrowed brow plead with me to follow her. I then give a slight nod and we start walking. We keep walking. I grasp onto Sayori tightly. For all I know, I could black out and collapse at any given moment. All the while I swear my heart is slowing down. That's what it feels like anyway. My head starts to feel lighter as we near the stairs. Sayori soon lets me go and I held onto the banister for support. She looks back to me with a wary yet hopeful smile. Don't strain yourself, Jasmine. Just take my hand. She holds out her hand. With a pause, I start slowly raising my arm towards her. However, I end up collapsing. I groan in pain. Jasmine! Sayori rushes over to me and, despite some struggle, is able to pull me up into a sitting position. She keeps shaking me and asking me things, but I can't make out most of what she's saying. The world around me feels like it's slowly becoming nothing but blurs and muffled, indistinct sounds. I try to stammer out anything audible, but I can't. I can't if I'm convulsing, having a panic attack, or if I'm dying. Soon enough, I start feeling myself drifting off. In spite of that, Sayori somehow manages to come through. Please, Jasmine. I don't want to lose you too. Despite my blurry vision, I can still make out her pleading expression. But still, I can't bring myself to speak. Not even a single word. I'm starting to go dizzy. Desperation seems to take control of her. Sayori grips my shirt. Please, just say something! Her voice breaks as she begs, but her plea might have fallen on deaf ears. My heartbeat starts to slow down, and I start to get the sensation that I'm flying to some degree. Despite that, I start to drift off into unconsciousness. I think I hear them coming. Jasmine! Jasmine, stay with me! Jasmine! That was good. Got me invested, was realistic enough. I mean my friends probably just had a different experience because they're different people. And the situation was probably a bit different as well. There was a part of me that was invested and a part of me that for some reason couldn't get invested. I don't know why though. For what feels like an eternity, I open my eyes. To my surprise, I find myself on a rooftop. But it's not just any rooftop. It's the school's roof. It's the place where both Monica and I spend the most of our time together, aside from the club and outside of school. More than that, it's the place where we first confessed our love for one another. I smile to myself, but I can't help but be a little curious. Why here? Why now? Am I dead? I pat myself all over. Nope, seemingly somewhat alive. I look down towards my arms. Miraculously, the wound seemed to have vanished. I let my arms relax and drop to my sides. As I let my arms relax and drop to my sides, I find myself walking towards the wire fence. Soon enough, I'm standing face to face with it. I grab hold of the fence with one hand as I gaze out into the distance. The city still remains. I then look down. Again, exactly as I remember it. I breathe gently through parted lips as I gaze longingly. I go to close my eyes and just soak in the atmosphere. However, I feel a finger tap my shoulder. Gah! I spin around in shock. That was a weird gah. However, my initial shock quickly fizzles out as my eyes play upon a face I've not seen for a good while. Monica? Hey, Jasmine. It's been a while, hasn't it? voice is as gentle and soothing as I remember. My heart starts to flutter. Money, I most catches as I smile in complete disbelief. I'm seeing Monica again. I'm actually seeing her again. But at the same time, there's only one thing on my mind. Am I... Monica gently places a finger on my lips, causing my voice to trail off. And still, she has that same gentle smile. No, you're not. I don't exactly know how to describe this place. Like, it's just this rooftop and nothing else. Despite her initial light-hearted tone, I notice a heavy tinge of sorrow to what she's saying. I timidly approach her. I take her hand in mine, but my grip is the furthest thing from firm. In all honesty, my hands are clammy and shaky. I even try to say her name, but it keeps getting stuck in my throat. Monica's gaze breaks from mine. Down I know this is hard for her too. My grip falters, my arms falling to my sides. The longer I look at her, the more my heart aches. Shouldn't I be happy that I'm seeing her again? I keep telling myself that I should. After all, this is what I wanted, right? Right? Monica. I whisper her name, and her emerald eyes pierce back into mine, now being underlined by tears. Jasmine. Where do I even begin? No, scratch that. How do I begin? She struggles to keep her voice steady. My eyes start to sting due to tears of my own starting to form. There's so many things I want to ask. What happened after she got back home the last day I spoke to her? Can she see what's been going on since she passed? But most importantly, why? Of these questions I can't bring myself to ask any of them, and I can't bring myself to ask any of them. I just look at her and realize how much I've truly missed her. I may have only been a few weeks for some people, but for me, it felt like a lifetime. I suddenly rush up to Monica, tears now streaming down my cheeks. I tightly wrap my arms around her in an almost vice-like grip and bury my face against her exposed shoulder, holding my eyes shut as I do. I lose track of how long I spent sobbing. I guess every single question I have, every memory we made, and every day without her decide to amalgamate and come out all at once. I miss you, Monica. I missed you so damn much. My voice remains shaky and strained. Every night I keep asking myself what happened. I keep asking myself what I should have done differently. I keep telling myself I should have done more. Sweetheart, I know I could have done more. I could have done anything to help get you out of there. But I didn't. I was too busy trying to hide the fact that I'm a wreck. I caused... Jasmine, just stop! Monica's voice breaks as she wraps her own arms around me. My voice falls silent as I start to feel Monica's heartbeat racing. Stop trying to blame yourself for something I chose to do. You weren't ever to blame for that. Then why, Monica? Why did you do it? She falls silent. Whether due to the unintentionally aggressive manner I asked that question, or solely because I asked in the first place, I don't know. Eventually, though, she breaks away from our embrace. I lift my head up and open my eyes to face her. Monica looks off to the side, deep in thought. She takes a deep, partially audible breath, and then looks right back at me. I never planned to kill myself that morning, you know? Her voice catches. No one ever told you what happened, did they? I wordlessly shake my head. She says remorsefully. After I got home that day, I found out that Dad had planned to send me overseas to a business school. Like, signed the application in my name and everything. Obviously, I wasn't going to have that. We got into another argument. I accidentally broke my phone, and this time, he hit me. Her voice chokes. I sheepishly approach her, but stop dead in my tracks as soon as she opens her eyes again. My own father told me he never even wanted me. That's how bad it got. She clenches her eyes shut, possibly to stop herself from crying more than she already has. I just stand there in utter dismay. Monica, I'm speechless. Can I even tell her I'm sorry? She can tell me it was my fault all she wants, but I can't help but still feel otherwise. I just wanted to get out of there. I wanted to run. I just wanted to see you again, Jasmine. God, I felt so alone without you. She pauses and takes another breather. Still, I can't think of a single thing to say. She presses on. I didn't even sleep that night. I just stayed up, worrying about you and panicking about what I was going to do. When I woke up that morning, there was only one idea that came to my mind. Even if I did run and stay at yours, it'd only be a matter of time till he'd show up. I already heard you enough, Jasmine. Hell, I've even been doing it after I've gone. Please, Jasmine, for the sake of your own well-being, forget about me. I already made my choice. Don't let me keep dragging you down. Monica turns and starts walking away, her sobs barely concealed. My heart sinks. I can't just forget about her just like that. After what we've been through? Not a chance in the world. Monica, wait up! I managed to catch up with her. She turns to look back at me. Her expression is teary and blank. Her arms lay limp at her side. We stand apart for a moment before I sheepishly approach her and place my trembling hands upon her shoulders. I gaze longingly into her damp, yet still beautiful eyes, trying my hardest to keep myself together. There is no way I could ever forget you. Never in a million years. My fingers gently kiss down her arms until I'm gently squeezing her hands in my own. I love you, Monica. I still do. Monica sighs as she locks her fingers with mine. Jasmine, I love you too. But you need to let me go. Besides, all I ever did was put you under immense stress. I dragged you along for the ride. I was selfish. I heard, Monica, please just listen to me. My voice is shuddery and barely above a whisper, but Monica is seemingly able to hear me. She falls silent, her eyes still shut. It is true that after I found out about your dad, I got worried. Some nights I did lose sleep because I was scared about what may or may not have been happening to you. But I promised that I'd never give up on you, and I didn't plan breaking that promise anytime soon. I never stopped loving you. My voice catches. Monica opens her eyes and looks deeply into mine. There aren't any words from either of us for a good while. Just the two of us, together, locked in each other's gaze, with that lock only momentarily broken by her blinking. The only sound that surrounds us is that of the heavenly breeze that brushes our skin. Monica's lips then slowly curl to form a thoughtful, longing, and above all gentle smile. Aside from the liquid brimming her eyelids, it's the exact same smile that she would give me during some of our more intimate moments. Quite honestly, I've missed that smile just as much as I've missed the girl it belongs to. I can't remember if I asked you this before, but why do you love me as much as you do? Even now, taking a deep breath, I think back to everything we've been through. Ultimately, my mind goes back to the day we got together. There's something that Monica said back then that always kind of stuck with me. You let me be me. The more I think about it, I begin to realize that was also the case with me. I release my grip on Monica's hands and carefully rest them on her cheeks, much to her seeming surprise. I step slightly closer as I gently cup her face in my hands. Monica, before I met you, there was a lot about myself that I didn't really like. Hell, there still is. I'm still awkward. I'm not exactly the most physically fit. Honestly, I'm quite bland if you think about it. I give a nervous chuckle before I carry on. If the last school year ended, I kinda thought that'd be the last time we'd ever speak. Then I joined the club, and we started talking again. In a way, it was like no time had passed. She smiles earnestly. With you, it felt like I could be myself. You didn't judge me for anything. I lived for you, Jasmine. That's always been the case. And it's still the case now. She then tightly wraps her arms around me, causing me to quickly retract my hands. Quickly adjusting myself, I return her embrace. I lose track of how long we stay like this. Once more, it's just us and the breeze. Again, it's felt like ages since I've been able to do this. I speak in a soft, almost whispery tone. I wish I could stay. Upon hearing that, Monica sighs regretfully. I knew you did, Jasmine. But you can't. It'd be selfish for me to keep you here. Besides, you still get people down there. that care about you. My gaze momentarily diverts from hers. But what about you? Monica wraps her arms from around me and moves her hands to my cheeks. I'll just be watching over you from up here. And I promise you, when your time comes, I'll be right here waiting for you. My eyes meet Monica's once more. You mean that? Monica pulls my face closer to hers. She then speaks gently. I swear to you, we will see each other again. She gently pulls my face as close as can get to hers and passionately presses her lips against mine. As I settle into the kiss, my body starts to feel lighter. A sensation can only describe as electrical, suggests surges through my body. To accompany that, an overwhelming feeling of bliss and raptures both of us. It's peace, it's bliss, and at the same time, the feeling provides me a sense of hope. Both that I will be able to carry on, hope that I will be able to recover. I know that there's always going to be a part of me that longs for what could have been, and times where I wish she was still with me. And if I can't live for the rest of my life with Monica, then I'll live my life for her. Minutes pass by, and as they do, I start to feel another sensation. It almost feels like I'm drifting away. I start to become weightless. Eventually, I lose my hold on Monica, and her fingers slip from my cheeks. It soon gets to a point where I'm surrounded by nothing but thick clouds. The only noises that I can hear are slowly approaching, modulated beeps. The beeps gradually become clearer and clearer until eventually I wake up. When my eyes open, everything is initially quite blurry. My surroundings quickly become more visible. It doesn't take me too long to realize where I am. I gradually look down towards both my chest and wounded arm. As I should have guessed from my location, I have an array of cables and tubes protruding from my body. A thousand thoughts run in my mind in regards to what the doctors may have done to me whilst I was out. I shouldn't dwell on it too much, though. Well, I don't trust hospitals, so I'm dwelling on it. For no apparent reason now. At least I finally got emotional. Ever since I started playing today, I didn't really feel all that much emotion, but at least I finally got the emotion I hoped I would get during the mod, because earlier it was a bit lost on me. It was there, but I finally found in myself to actually cry for the story. Again. And I like the picture. So much so I didn't want to stop the story to take it. But I did like it. I did like the image, and I will speak about it later a bit more. But generally I like the message it tried to send, although I do feel like, due to it being like genuinely her ghost, because it was obviously like her actual like soul, because she told us things we weren't able to know and was the truth, apparently, from what we know from the beginning of what she told us. And I kind of wish it was also more left up to debate if it was like a ghost or just the memory of her comforting us. Because I don't fully believe in the afterlife, even with those weird nightmares that appear to be sending like messages that weirdly sometimes align with my friends. I'm not certain that there is an afterlife, and I feel like some of my friends absolutely do not. They have absolutely no doubt that there is not an afterlife. I'm certain there are other people too who might wish there was, but still might not believe in it. And I feel like leaving that for debate if it was like actually her spirit and the memories coming to comfort him and show him that what she would actually want is for him to keep living. I feel like keeping that up for interpretation for those who think there is an afterlife, or wish there's an afterlife, that it is actually her spirit. And like for people like me who aren't really sure all that much, and people who don't believe in it, for also to be like, it was a nice representation of the memories. Finally being able to grow more comforting instead of dragging you down, finally showing you that person loved you and they would want you to keep going. Even if they can't watch over you. Like, it's a nice thought, but generally if they loved you, then they would want you to keep going as well. And I feel like the possibility to interpret it both ways, as a memory or like the soul, would allow more people to maybe connect with the scene. Next to something else, but I said I'd bring that up later. Probably for you in the next video, but I shouldn't really dwell on it too much though. The important thing is that I'm still here. That is important. I then turned to my right. There, in a rather uncomfortable looking chair next to my bed, sat Sayori. Well, less sitting down. She's pretty much asleep. At least I think so. Regardless, I can't exactly blame her. God knows how long she'd been awake. I whispered to myself, using Sayori as an internal muse. I'm sorry I put you through hell. I'm more than certain I'll have plenty of time to apologize. I look away from Sayori and towards the small glass pane on the door. Every minute or two I can see people walking past the door. It seems quite busy out there, but I can't exactly be too certain. My attention is then brought back to Sayori as she lets out a loud, albeit soft yawn. She stretches before opening her eyes and looking towards me. When her eyes meet mine, we simply stare at each other. Just a look on her face that I can't clearly make out. Is it surprise? Is it relief? I'm not entirely sure. As soon as that mild feeling of uncertainty starts to settle, a soft smile starts to form across Sayori's lips. It's a very relieved-looking smile. She gets up from her chair and starts walking towards me. She then speaks in a soft, yet very audible whisper. You're finally awake. She's soon standing right by my bedside, her eyes underlined by tears. I can't help but crack a smile in return. You know, I'd hug if it wasn't for all these cables. My voice sounds like my throat had been rubbed with sandpaper. I know, Jasmine. I do too. Sayori falls silent as she seemingly contemplates. You're lucky to be alive, you know. The doctor said you'd cut pretty deep. Definitely felt like it. I know. She looks off to the side and sighs gently. She then looks back to me, uncertain of what to say. As always, I can't tell what she's thinking. There's more silence between us. Could she be waiting for me to say something? Whether she is or not, I think she's owed an explanation of what happened. I did bring her into it after all. I think I should explain myself. Sayori remains silent. I'm not even sure if I'm going about this the right way. Out of the blue, a smile finds its way into Sayori's lips as she squeezes my shoulder. It's okay, Jasmine. You don't need to say anything. I look her in the eye in disbelief. That look quickly dissipates as Sayori's arm slowly lowers until she's gently squeezing my hand in her own. No matter how long it takes, we'll get you the help you need. I know it's not gonna be easy. I know that too well. But no matter how long it takes, I'm not gonna give up on you. I promise you that. Her sky blue eyes glisten with tears, still smiling gently. I smile back as my own tears start to form. Again, I want so desperately to embrace her. I internally damn the cables that are practically holding me hostage, and then damn myself for being the reason I'm here. I squeeze Sayori's hand in return. Just from that look in her eyes, I can tell she understands. She might not understand everything about what I'm going through, but in a way, she knows what I'm going through. I can't keep her here though. You should probably get going. Could have worded that better. Wouldn't it be better for you if I stayed here for a bit longer? Say I'd be safe here. There'll probably be a nurse and to check up on me in a bit. Besides, you look bloody knackered. I know I certainly didn't help with that in the slightest. Also, I've got some stuff I want to think about. It's okay, Jasmine. I understand. I can always visit later. Please do. So, I guess I'll see you later then. Maybe tomorrow? I nod. Yeah, tomorrow should be good. As Sarah goes to leave, a thought crosses my mind. Through my slightly strained voice, I call out to her. Hey, Sayori? If it's not too much to ask, could you let my mom know what happened? Jasmine, she already knows. The hospital asked if you had any relatives they could contact. I gave them your mom's number and... Thank you. You don't need to thank me. After one more smile between us, Sayori leaves. Once again, I'm alone. I lay back on the bed. To no surprise, it's far from the comfiest thing in the world. But for now, at least, it will have to do. Whilst I'm laying here and staring at the ceiling, I think back to before I woke up. Back to my conversation with Monica. Even though I know it wasn't real. Well, not real in the traditional sense. But it felt real. However, one thing that sticks out to me is one of the thoughts I had before everything faded away. I'll live life for her. As I remember this, another smile forms across my lips. I internally promise myself that I will carry on. It's not going to be easy in the slightest, but I've got people here for me. I can't let them down again. I will live on. I just need to take things one at a time. Six months later. Oop. Disappeared quite fast. Oh, I wanted to drink something. As my alarm blares, I groggily open my eyes. Thank you. I wanted to drink something. I sit up, stretch my arms, and yawn loudly as I turn off the damned noise. I then check my phone. 7:30 a.m. Pulling my sheets off, I get up from my bed and head straight for the bathroom. I step towards the mirror and stop to look at my face. Before I shower, I should probably shave. I gotta look presentable for the girls. I grab the electric razor from my drawer and get to work. It doesn't take me long to finish up. After brushing off any remaining hairs, I get undressed and get ready to shower. Since the water has warmed up to my preferred temperature, I step in. Whilst the water soaks my skin, I think long and hard about today. It's a Saturday. In particular, it's the 20th of January, my 19th birthday. If you were to go back to 6 months ago and tell me I would make it to 19, I probably would have called you your bluff. But in retrospect, I'm glad I carried on in spite of everything. Yeah. There were times which was difficult, and God only knows there will be many more times like that. But I'm still here, and I don't plan on leaving anytime soon. Eventually, I stop the water and step out. After grabbing a towel, drying myself and wrapping it around my waist, I head back to my room. Upon heading back to my room, I start to walk towards the closet. Sayori said she was planning something special for me today with Natsuki and Yuri. Natsuki did seem pretty busy last night, so that checks out. That being said, I shouldn't really need to dress too fancy. I pull open the door and pull out a black shirt and some blue jeans. I don't know why it was... I don't know why I couldn't read that for a second. Is it generic? Obviously yes, but to some degree, I wouldn't have it any other way. After I pull all my clothes on and make sure my hair is presentable enough, I head downstairs. When I get downstairs, my ears pick up the faint yet ever distinct rustling of plastic carrier bags. Seems like someone's awake. Morning, Nat. It's so kinda weird that Natsuki's actually living here, but I suppose that after 3 months you kinda get used to it. Yeah, I was wondering if they live together now. Morning! Energetic as ever. She has the weird shirt again. Although the can of store-brand energy drink on the counter might be the reason for energy at this time. Speaking of which, how long have you been up? You've never been up this early on weekends. She scowls slightly. Oh well, here comes yet another comment about my snoring. I mean, I think it's since 6:30. Like, I sorted out most of the food last night. All I had to do was pack everything and just finish a couple extra little bits. She certainly works fast. I mean, your snoring didn't help either. But that's a given. I roll my eyes with a smirk as Natsuki gives a cheeky smile. Saw it coming from a mile away, but I'll let her have this one. Given what Sayuri mentioned, coupled with all the food that Natsuki has seemingly made, it doesn't take me long to put 2 and 2 together. So I'm guessing we're having a picnic? Yup. Now I know what you're thinking. Ugh, it's the middle of January, Nat. I'm gonna be freezing my nuts off. At least Sayuri's impression of me doesn't sound as nasally as Natsuki's. Not to mention it actually sounds like me. But it's meant to be pretty nice today. Plus, come on, it's your birthday. I grin at her like a damn idiot. She doesn't seem to mind though. Do you want me to help pack or anything? No, you're good. Besides, with your history of packing things, I'd rather not just be on the safe side, you know? I sigh despite her having a fair point. Wait a second, I need to reread this line because I kind of... I'd rather not, just to be on the safe side. Okay. I was never the best at packing. After I make myself a quick cup of coffee, I head to the living room. To pass the time, I end up channel surfing for a good while. Unsurprisingly, there doesn't seem to be much on at this time. I eventually just end up settling on a channel showing nothing but game shows. The one currently on reeks of the late 80s. The 18s. Though, who am I to call something out as being cheesy? It isn't inherently a bad thing, but still. A few minutes pass before Natsuki joins me in the room. Her eyes end up fixated on the plasma screen. Whether it's a show she's seen before, she's merely confused as to what the hell I'm watching, seems to be undecided. This seeming almost silence is then broken by both a small vibration and a chirp-like tone coming from Natsuki's phone. Not being a particularly noisy person, I don't ask who it is. However, she then taps my shoulder. It's Sayuri. She's just going up to Yuri's. She shouldn't be too long. Given that I've never been to Yuri's, I wouldn't have an exact idea as to how long Sayuri will actually be. More time passes. Eventually, there's a trio of quick knocks at the door. I go to get up and answer it, but Natsuki bolts up from her seat and heads to do so instead. Yawning softly, I return my focus to the TV. It doesn't take me long to hear footsteps approaching the living room. I spot Sayuri at the corner of my eye and stand up, ready to greet her. With an excited smile on her face, she practically flies towards me and almost knocks me off my feet as she embraces me with a vice-like grip. Gah! There's the birthday boy! Morning, Sayo. I always forget how strong Sayuri can be sometimes. They gave her like this cat shirt. She has like a cat shirt in like her room in the game. And I think like it was inspired by this at least. As Sayuri keeps squeezing me, I then hear a gentle giggle from across the room. Calm down, Sayuri. I'm sure Jasmine's happy to see you too. Yuri's clothes look like normal clothes. I don't have any particular thing to say towards her clothes. They feel like something she could wear. Sayuri releases me, allowing me to breathe once again. Sorry, Jasmine. I guess I kinda got carried away there. Don't worry, you're good. Air soon finds the way back into my lungs. Sayuri flashes me a quick smile before being beckoned to the kitchen by Natsuki. Once Sayuri is gone, only me and you remain in the living room. It's been a little while since we've been alone together. Whilst we stood there, Yuri averts her gaze and smiles, looking off to the side a little. Hey. been a while, hasn't it? Marika's more of a soft whisper, but a whisper I know that she can hear. It has been, yes. Yuri's voice is just as soft. How have you been? Like, how's your first semester been? First semester's been alright. I'll admit I did struggle at first, as many of the course reading list was much more complex than I have read in the past. But hey, I did opt for a psychology major. She then pauses for a brief moment before smiling sheepishly. Besides that, I've been doing better. I've had a lot more time to myself since I moved out. More time to think about how I am as a person. I know I've not been the easiest person. I'm working to better myself, though. I'm happy to hear that. Like, really I am. Her eyes flick back to meet mine, and a small, admittedly adorable smile forms across her lips. Promise? I promise. Yuri smiles to herself, her cheeks being overcome with a slowly growing blush. I then hear footsteps coming towards the living room, this time accompanied by the sound of rustling plastic bags. Alright, everyone ready to go? There's a less than subtle tinge of excitement to Natsuki's voice. Not that I can exactly blame her, though. I am! Sarah beams in a classic Sayori fashion. I'd like to head off too. Yuri's demeanor reverts to a more calm and collected tone. That just leaves me. As happy as I am seeing everyone here together in what feels like forever, my mind still reminds me that this sight in front of me shall always remain incomplete. It's just there, staring me right in the face, almost like a jigsaw puzzle laying at the table with a single missing piece. I've heard that recently from a friend about something completely else, but... And what's this piece for me? That's simple. It's Monica. I always pictured her being here with me. Hell, I still do most days. Whilst I have been slowly getting better, the memory of what happened still lingers within me. Sometimes it's like an itch that can't be scratched, but an itch I can cast away to the back of my mind. But other times, it just dominates my day. Before the memories can once again cement themselves in my mind, Natsuki approaches me and rests a hand on my shoulder. Jasmine? You doing okay? Natsuki's soft tone pulls me back to reality. I then look back to her and my two other friends. All three of them were rather awkward expressions, as if they're wondering if they should say something. I quickly relieved their potential worries. Yeah, I'm fine. Let's get going. The four then leave the house on a rather somber note. Aside from brief bursts of small talk, the most part of the walk is accompanied by silence. I can't help but feel responsible for the current awkwardness. I could have sworn that I was starting to feel better at coping with what happened to Monica, but I'm starting to call that progress into question. Given the way you are acting, it is progress. Like, I think about it too, and I'm still in a far better place than I was after the event. Of course I sometimes still think about it. After something like this happened, I don't think you can completely just forget it. I will always miss him. Even if I feel like I'm okay now. Like genuinely okay, not just this weird okay that's over there. I will still miss him. Eventually, conversation starts to kick off between the girls, but I end up trailing along, borderline oblivious to everything going on around me. The feeling of a finger tapping my upper arm then suddenly yanks me back into reality. Huh? Hey. I look to my side and see Sayori is there to greet me with a rather sweet smile. She speaks in a soft whisper. You doing better? I nod with a slight shrug. Yeah, I'm okay. I'm good. Yep, real convincing. The look on Sayori's face tells me everything she's thinking. The pair of us continue walking, that ever-present awkwardness still looming. As I look up, I notice that Natsuki and Yuri are engaged in conversation. I exhale gently and sigh quickly after. Sayori looks towards me with that same downcast look on her face. It's Monica? I nod silently. I know everyone says that she's here with me in spirit. And, like, I do believe that. But I still feel lost without her sometimes, you know? Sayuri stood dead in her tracks and turns to face me directly. I stop too, returning to return her gaze. Jasmine, no one's expecting you to just get over what happened just like that. She clicks her fingers to emphasize that last part. Like, that's just unrealistic. I sigh and look towards Nat and Yuri. They don't seem to have noticed the fact we've stopped in the middle of the street. I'm surprised you still put up with me. I'm surprised any of you do. Jasmine, you've got it all wrong. It's not putting up with you. It's being patient. Just like you were, and still are with me. She then steps closer to me, softly squeezing my hand in her own. And we're still gonna be here for you, regardless of anything. An earnest smile rests upon her lips, and I smile back. The pair of us just stand there for a little bit. I'm glad she's still part of my life. To some degree, I can't imagine life without her. An ever so slightly squeaky voice then breaks the silence. Hey! Sayuri backs away, slightly flustered as an agitated gremlin approaches us. How long did it take you and Yuri to realize we weren't behind you? I was gonna ask for directions. And then I turned around, neither of you were there. Sayuri slightly giggles at Natsuki's expense. It's not funny. Yuri nearly started freaking out because you thought you ditched us. I wasn't actually. Natsuki chuckles mischievously after Yuri's seeming rebuttal. I smile, gently laughing and rolling my eyes as I do. Yeah, sorry about that. Anyway, on we go. After retracing Nat and Yuri's steps, the four of us continue walking down. I hope they can be patient for forever, because it will probably always take forever. There will just be times where it's worse and times where it's going to be better. Like with mental health problems too. After what feels like longer than usually, we finally reach the park. Whilst there's still a gentle breeze in the air, there's also a light warmth. We all walk towards the section of the park where there's one of those picnic tables you typically see at parks. As we each take a seat, Natsuki places her back onto the wooden surface and starts unpacking the fruits of her labor. All which might be devoured in a matter of minutes, especially if Sayuri gets her hands on it. Ooh. Yeah, I know it's a lot. Just try to take it easy, okay? As Nat continues to unpack, the remaining three of us simply wait in anticipation. Soon enough, the entirety of our small feast is unveiled. Both Sayuri and Yuri's eyes light up. I end up grinning at Natsuki like an idiot. What is it, dummy? You know, you didn't have to do all this. Well, I wanted to, so deal with it. Natsuki flashes me her signature white grin, coupled with her typical sass. Just over half a year ago, Nat's sass would have probably ended up getting on my nerves. If anything, now it's honestly endearing. Sure, she can still be a pain in the ass, but she's a lovable pain in the ass. Come on, what are you all waiting for? Let's eat! With a gleam in our eyes, we start to eat. There's a vast selection of food available, ranging from simple sandwiches to delightfully fluffy onigiri, to a collection of cookies and biscuits baked by Natsuki herself. All of it tastes bloody brilliant. And judging by the looks on both Yuri and Sayuri's faces, I'm not the only one who thinks so. After we eat some more, I break the near silence. So, I kinda asked Yuri about this, but how's uni been for everyone? Sarah's the first to answer. Sorry. It's going better than I thought it would. There's still some times where it gets a little... What's the word I'm looking for? Daunting? Yeah, that's it! But I'm getting a lot of help from my tutor and some of the new friends I made. And what's about that Rio guy I keep seeing you with? Is he helping you? Sayuri sinks into herself with a sly smile hidden beneath a scarlet veil. Whoever this Rio is, it seems Sayori is taking a slight fancy to him. Oh? That being said, I'm certainly curious.
Yeah, he helps me when he can. He's even saved my butt a couple of times.
That same shy smile returns to her face. Natsuki then turns to me, a fox shock plastered on her face. Oh my god, Jasmine! You've been replaced! She burst into a fit of hearty laughter.
No, it's not like that! Like, Rio's nice and all. But he couldn't replace you, Jasmine.
Some of the scarlet haze from Sayori's face transfers to mine as I sheepishly smile. You're too kind, Sayori. But like, if you want to spend more time with your boyfriend, I can't really stop ya. I chuckle a bit at how defensive she's being about not replacing me.
He's not my boyfriend.
Well, there's certainly something going on between you two. You're by his side every other day. She smacks as Sayori scowls at the pair of us. But Natsuki persists. Oh, come on. There's gotta be something you like about him. Nat's got her tail trapped now.
Well, he's nice, smart, very considerate. Quite handsome too, not gonna lie.
What was the last part? I heard her clearly, but again, it is fun to tease her.
I said he's handsome. What are you making me say?
Both me and Natsuki burst into laughter, but soon were rejoined by Yuri and her soft giggle. Oh my, I don't think I've ever seen Sayori this embarrassed before.
Stop it!
We eventually halt our teasing, still laughing a little. I then turn my attention to Natsuki. What about you, Nat? How's everything going for you? Oh, it's going great. Just great. You sound like you hate it, huh? Well, hate would be a bit of a strong word. I mean, it's a pain in the fucking ass, but it could be worse. I'll come out and see Yuri shaking her head but still smirking. Let me guess, because you're a pro? At last you finally admitted. That being said, I honestly can't stand most of the stuff there. Especially some of the catering lot. They can get so full of themselves. Okay. Anything that doesn't get you all riled up? Now that you mention it, yeah. I've met some really awesome people. Like, there's this one person I met called Asuka and we get on great. And the best part is that we share all the same classes. All the same classes. She says that last line with a sweet, almost sing-song tone. Once more, I can't help but crack a smile. That's great to hear, Nat. My, I wish I had this much time to get to know people. To be truthful, I'm a tad bit envious. Oh, don't be jealous, Yuri. I'm sure you'll find someone eventually. Jasmine's right, you know. You may still find some nice, slightly broody guy who'll read Stephen King with ya. Whilst I appreciate the sentiment, I'm not in a hurry for a relationship. I know I said I wish I had more time to connect with people, but don't get me wrong, I still do. But I'm certainly more content with the wonderful friends I already have. Yuri's words and radiant smile sent warmth towards the rest of us, Sayori looking up with a smile full of rice. Time passes and, eventually, the feast Natsuki had made is reduced to a mess of leftovers, scraps, and an indeterminate amount of crumbs. Not that any of us are complaining, we all enjoyed it. Especially Sayori. More discussion about the girls' time at university ensues, involved insulting and some bits of teasing over Sayori's fondness for the ever enigmatic Rio. Of course, I'm eventually brought into the conversation. It's only natural, of course, especially as I didn't end up going to uni last year. After everything that had happened, I wanted to better my mental state before even contemplating going back to education. Again, while there are brief moments where I experience mild relapses, I am getting better. But the so-called year gap has to come to a close at some point. Yeah, I'll be sending my application this summer, and fingers crossed I'll be enrolled at HU for September.
I'm glad. Honestly, it's been a little weird without you there.
I scratched the back of my neck. I can imagine. I don't mean to pry, but how have the past months been since since we last saw each other? I can't imagine it's been easy. I think to myself a little bit. I don't particularly want to bring the mood down, but it would be a bit disingenuous to ignore Yuri's question. I could be a bit brief about it. Well, it's not been the easiest. But I am getting better at managing everything. That's terrific news. Like, I know there'll be times where it does get harder to forget what happened, but in my heart I know Monica would want me to keep fighting on. In a way, I think of it like she didn't stop existing when she passed on. I think of it like her spirit's still watching over us, you know? So if that sounds like overly cheesy or something like that, I wouldn't exactly call your thoughts cheesy. If anything, I would say it's quite a spiritualistic way of thinking. And I can imagine it brings you a great degree of comfort, yes? I nod as I find myself smiling once more. It honestly does, yeah.
Speaking of Monica...
Huh? Natsuki looks toward Yuri, who simply nods and goes to Sayori. I give Natsuki a rather confused look. What's going on here?
You might want to close your eyes for this. All three of us worked pretty hard on this.
Consider my curiosity piqued. I'm anxious. I nod at Natsuki, and she walks out of sight. I am tempted to try sneak a peek as to what they've prepared, but that would just be rude. Eventually, I just close my eyes. After overhearing a short burst of whispers by the trio, I hear footsteps approach me.
Arms out!
I comply with Natsuki's request, raising my arms up. Barely a few seconds later, I feel a sort of fabric brush against my fingertips.
Is that velvet?
I firmly grip the object in my hands. Can I open my eyes yet?
Hang on a sec!
More hurried whispers ensue for a short moment.
Okay, you can open them now.
I exhale through party lips before opening my eyes. I'm immediately met by the sight of three of my closet friends, giving me bright, earnest smiles. Their eyes then flicker down towards my hands, as if they're guiding me to where to look. Naturally, I follow their direction and then freeze in place at the sight they land on. My eyes are met with the sight of a light green velvet-bounded book. The edges of the cover are lined with a shiny gold border. To finish it off, there's text in the center that's embossed but with the same material as the border. It reads, "Forever in my heart, Monica Hirai." I find myself fixated onto the book but briefly look up to the girls in a mix of awe and disbelief.
Go on, open it!
My eyes return to the book and I follow Sayori's instruction. Upon opening it, my vision is filled with a myriad of photos of Monica at various points in her life, almost like a lifetime. I silently go through all the pages, going from her early years to what I presume her early teens to even her 18th birthday. Obviously, I've been able to see her face since I last saw her through the photos I took of us when she was still here, but there's something different about this time. Maybe it's because of how much time has passed. Maybe it could be because of the history these pictures hold. Or maybe it's something else I can't explain. Whatever it is, it just feels different. It's only when I get to the last couple of pages when I feel my chest tighten. The next few pages and the pages are plastered with photos of Monica and me, some that I remember her posting online, and even some I've not seen before. There's even the photo strip we took that time we went to the carnival. I can feel tears starting to well up in my eyes. But they're not tears of sadness. They're tears of joy. I then turn to the next page. As soon as my eyes meet that last picture, everything comes flooding back. It's one of the first pictures that we ever had taken together, mostly thanks to Sayori. The three of us were walking together, and Moni asked Sayori if she could take some pictures of us. This was always one of her favorites. I soon closed the book. I end up staining the pages. I see. I keep it close to my chest as I look back up at the girls. Thank you. Thank you all so much.
You're welcome. Monty's mom helped a lot with this. As soon as we told her what we had in mind, she loved it. She even put a bit of money towards getting it all sorted.
Harumi, I'll call her when I get back home. I turned and rest the book on the table before starting to walk towards the girls. Each of them give me a slightly perplexed look. I then stretch my arms and crack a smile, my eyes still damp. Sayo instantly knows what I'm getting at. She practically rushes to embrace me, shortly followed by Natsuki. And finally Yuri joins us. I try to embrace all three of them, but my arms barely reach around Yuri and Natsuki. Lucky for me, the three of them stay close, practically enveloping me. Sayo's grip is the tightest, as she was the first to embrace me. Both Yuri and Nad have one arm around me, and another around Sayori. Any sense of tension within me that still lingered from this morning has completely evaporated. I feel like I can let myself be vulnerable. Something that I've slowly been learning to do again. I can't keep bottling everything up. I remember where that road led to, and I'll be damned if I let myself go down that path again. As Monica said to me, I've got people here for me. People that care deeply about me. I may not fully get over what happened all those months ago, but the best I can do is what I've been doing already. I'll press on. For them. For my family. For my own sake. And, most importantly, for Monica.